What's up, people? This is William Jones making videos about leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think. And use logic and use reason and realize that religion is fake. Alright, people, for this video, I'm taking into consideration the new people that see these videos that have left religion or are on the fence about leaving religion. The newly people, those of us who've been out for a while will just strictly confirm the information I'm about to speak on. And those who are just coming out, get ready to hear these things. If you're on the fence and you think you're going to leave, get ready to hear these things, all right? As a disclaimer, at this point in the video, all believers of religion have to stop watching the video. Cut it off now. You're not allowed to watch it. So if you're a Christian, Hebrew, Israelite, Islam, whatever it is that you believe in a deity, at this point, cut the video off. This is not for you, okay? This is for people that have left religion. All right, they have left religion, so stop watching. Now, for those of you who are just coming out, this might be my first video that you've seen. And you don't have a support system since you've left and everybody's condemning you for not believing in God and turning on the religion that you was raised in. That's just how it goes. People are tribal. They are tribal. You know, anything about the human race is very tribal, which is why we even have racism. The color of skin is an issue. You're light skinned, you're dark skinned, you in the middle. It's tribal. Even if you have one race, they'll break it into classes from high class to middle class to lower class. We are tribal all the way around. Perfect example of a religion and tribalism is being a sports fanatic or a sports fan. Sports fans, it's a religion in itself. It's just like a religion. Because in the NFL, let's say if you have the Washington Cowboys, right? You have the New Orleans Falcons. You have the New England Jets. You have the Dallas Eagles. That's not going to work. These people love their sports team. And if you don't love their sports team, you are the enemy. They love their sports teams. They love them. I don't care whether it's in football or in basketball, baseball, soccer, anything, whatever. People will dress their cars with the emblems of their teams. They will love other people of different races, even because they love the same sports team. People are tribal. And then when you come into religion, one of the main things they do in religion, in church, I can say in the black church, I know especially in the black church, is they make it family. This is my church family. How you doing, Brother Johnson? How you doing, Sister Wilson? Brothers and sisters, to my brothers and sisters, it's my church family. We are a family. So when you learn how religion works and then you're ready to leave, they feel like you are leaving the family. You have turned your back on the family for that worldly knowledge. That worldly knowledge. The devil done deceived you. The fact that you don't believe that a serpent talked and that a burning bush burned and didn't be consumed, and that Moses parted the Red Sea, and Noah put all those people on an ark, and the prophet Elijah outran a chariot with horses for many miles. These are the things, you don't believe them anymore because you've crossed over to reality and realized this doesn't make sense. You are now coming against the family, and the family is blood in, blood out. So now the closest people to you, your family members, your friends, your church members, they coming against you and condemning you because you have turned your back on the family. This is what they have to do. You are now apostate. You are a backslider. So now you're going to get called some names. You're going to get a lot of false accusations against you. A lot of false accusations against you. And I'm going to mention a few. And for those of you watching the video who've been out for a while, you can put it in the comments some of the things you've heard. What believers call non-believers or atheists, and some will say agnostics. Hey, I'm gonna read. I wrote off a few of them, and I'm gonna read them off. No particular order. I'm just, as I was getting them, I just wrote them down. I got, number one, you deny God because you want to sin. This is a big one. They're going to tell you that. You just tired of acting right. You just tired of acting right. You just want to cut up and just act a fool. So in order for you to do that, you have to deny the existence of God. Now, you really believe God is there, but what you do is you deny his existence so you can party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. That's what they're going to tell you. Because what you got to understand is that the mind of a believer has been shaped and formed for many years, whereas their scope past religion is very small. They can't just accept the fact that some people don't believe in God. It's that simple. I lack belief in a God or gods. It's that simple. But they cannot receive that because with all the gods that are out there, they believe their God is the only one. And that this Armageddon and all this rapture, all of this is revelation, the rapture, everything is coming. So they can't wrap their minds around the fact that you just don't believe there is no God and be done with it. That can't be the reason. There's something deeper than that. So therefore, this is why you're called, or you're going to get all the false claims against you. You deny God because you want to sin. But you believe in a God and you still sin. You be right next to me when I be sinning. What's the difference? Is you figure you'll just ask for forgiveness and God will forgive you, or you keep on sinning. I don't see the Christians just stop sinning. You might stop doing some things that you was doing. Some of that come with age. You can't hang out all night when you get older. You don't want to hang out all night. You wouldn't be home. Some things come with age, but that's how religion does. Number two, watch this, you're just mad at God because he didn't do what you wanted him to do. You hear that one a lot of times. You're just mad at God because he didn't do what you wanted him to do. They be like, you can't tell God what to do, right? You can't tell life what to do. That's the reality. The fantasy is you can't tell God what to do, The reality is you can't tell life what to do. None of us buy a new car with the expectation of the car breaking down and paying for repairs. That was the purpose of me buying a new car. But life does not follow your expectations or your way of wanting things to go. Your will. It doesn't follow that. Life is life. You didn't know that that driver was going to hit your car and damage your front end. And they probably can't fix it, or they do, the car's not right. There's so many different variables in life that you can't call. Life is an all-day lottery. It's a lottery all day. That two people just meet at the same place at the same time. Boom! It's a lottery. That person over here, he was about to leave. Realized I don't have my keys. I got to go back and get my keys. They go back to get their keys. They get in the car. They adjust their radio. Those crucial seconds that if they had their keys, they would have been 7 to 30 seconds ahead and the accident wouldn't have happened. Life is like a lottery. Variables happen, and it's not God. It's just life. Life is living. And what I mean, I've said this before, life is alive. Life doesn't obey your expectations. Life is life. Life is life. Life happens. You can't call it. You might want it to be a certain way, but you can't call it. It's life. You don't wake up. You wake up and you just hope things go in your favor, but they always don't. All right. Number 3. Oh, this is a good one. They love this one. Someone at church hurt you, so you're blaming God. They say this one all the time. You church hurt. Somebody at church hurt you, so now you blaming God. Anybody who is in religion will never, ever deal with a God. You will only ever deal with people. And some people understand that, which is why they instruct their people to treat, especially their guests, with the best service so they have a good experience. You know, when you see them where they want to sit, or, you know, just whatever makes them happy, do that. You're only going to deal with people in religion. You will never deal with a God. So you church hurt, because they are tribal in church. The ushers will be tribal. The choir members will be tribal. The clergy will be tribal. The members will be tribal. They have their own section, their own seats. The ushers, all of that. I'm the head usher. I've been here 25 years. There's the head usher. No. In the choir, I want to sing the solo, but she gonna let her sing the solo and not let me sing the solo. When you break it down, it has nothing to do with God. It has to do with egos. People wanting titles. Church has more titles than anything. It's all about getting a title. I don't care if it's the armor bearer, the person that carries the pastor's Bible and walks behind him as he walks up the aisle or from the back to the pulpit. The person that get a pastor a glass of water covered with a napkin. An armor bearer, a deacon, a deaconess, usher, head usher, associate pastors, and everything's a ministry. The sound ministry. We was at Creflo Church, the parking lot ministry. Helping the people park. Everything's a ministry. Evangelistic ministry. The music ministry. The dance ministry. Everything in religion has to have a title to make the people feel important, because you're not getting a check. You ain't get a check. But then you go to the top, them people they getting checks. You just doing service. So that's how this happens. Give titles to lower class of the pyramid so they'll be faithful to the ministry, but they ain't getting no money. Woo! Church hurt. You only deal with people. God ain't gonna say nothing to you to offend you, because remember, your God is you. You won't offend you. Number 4, you're reading those worldly books and Satan is playing with your mind. Well, let me say that again. You're reading those worldly books and Satan is playing with your mind. When you read anything other than the Bible, which is actual history, it's actual history. It's what really happened. Now all of a sudden, it contradicts what the Bible says. Now you're in Satan's territory because you're in reality. And the Bible is not founded in this stuff. Nobody remembers the Red Sea being parted. Nobody remembers this. So Israel was in Egypt 400 years as slaves. And now they want to say they built the pyramids. Lies. That's not true. Let's go to number 5, Psalms 14:1. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. How many times we heard this one? The fool says in his heart, there is no God. And my response to that one is, well, if the fool got it right, why can't you? He the fool. The fool already know what's up, but you don't. We already know there's no God. The fool knows it and you don't. Here we go. Let me keep it moving. Number 6. Oh, this is one of their favorites. I highlighted this one. This is one of their favorites. Watch this. You were never really a Christian. Please, somebody tell me you ain't heard that one. You was never really saved. You was never really filled with the Holy Ghost. You were never really a Christian. After they done told you how saved you was and how filled with the Holy Ghost you was before, now at this point they tell you retract everything, you was never really saved. It's like being married and telling you you was never really married. Well, I got kids. They don't exist. I had kids from that marriage. So my kids don't exist. You was never really saved, because their minds can't comprehend you walking away from this. Those who have received the gift, and then reject it, or it was better that they had never known in the first place. It's something to that effect it says. They love that one. That's their go-to. You was never really saved. Woo! Number 7. You hate God and worship Satan. You hate God and worship Satan. I don't believe there's a God, especially yours. But I believe in the Satan that he created. Make it make sense. I don't believe in your God, but I believe in the enemy he created, which is really an employee. But I believe in the enemy he created. So I believe in Satan, but not in God. Moving on. People, this is what you're going to hear. Get ready for it. Get ready, get ready, get ready. This is what you're going to hear. I'll put a star by this one. Watch this. All right, the Bible says in 2 Timothy 4:3, "For the time will come when people will not endure sound doctrine. Having itching ears, they will turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables." The irony is, "and shall be turned unto fables." That's crazy because their whole doctrine is a fable. So they're trying to make the fable real. They're telling you that the fable they're telling you is real, and when you come into reality and start making sense, now you have fallen away and you got itchy ears because you want to hear something that makes sense. I know oil and water don't mix. I know that. There are a lot of things we know about physics and life and things. It's a fact. It's a fact. But now you're turned into fables. I remember when I was around somebody, I was like, Jesus said that the mustard seed is the least of all seeds. And I said, but that's not true. It's actually not. And he was like, what's smaller than mustard seed? Google it. I'm not a botanist. You can Google it. But when they wrote that, I guess the seeds they had, that was the smallest seed. But if he was a creator, he should know that. There's a lot of things that Jesus was created he should have known about diseases and bacteria and viruses, all kinds of things he could have revealed. Than just laying hands on people. We can't do what you do. So tell us how to mix what with what, the herbs, and tell us what to mix to cure the thing, since this laying on the hands thing is really just not working, homeboy. So turn unto fables. Fables is reality when you're dealing with religion. Because nobody's killed, not died, killed, and then come back to life 3 days later. And nobody recognizes who he is. That's a whole nother video. Let me move on. You're going to hear these things. Get ready for it. Woo, number 9. You have no morality because you don't believe in a God. They love this one. You have no morality because you don't believe in a God. They love to play. This is where the urban apologists or the urban Christian apologists, they love this one because they love to play this whole thing. Well, what's your worldview? How do you have a worldview if you don't have a God? How do you have morality if you don't have a God? What's the basis of your morality if you don't have a God? As if the God is an anchor to the ship. If I have an anchor, but nobody has seen the anchor, and I drop a chain down with nothing on the bottom of that chain, we'll still be floating with the current. And that's what they have. You think you have a morality based on a God, but you can't prove the God to have an anchor. We know that societies are different around the world. Certain things are wrong and considered wrong in one place, but not in another place. You come to America, and women can wear shorts, Daisy Dukes, boy shorts, and cleavage all out. You can't go to a Muslim country and do that. That's unacceptable. The women covered up like ninjas. They got their eyes showing. They look like Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. I'm just saying. It depends on where you're from. It's all about the location. You know, over here we eat beef. You go to India, I guess it might be India somewhere, they don't eat beef. You come over here, we don't eat dogs and cats. You can go to some Asian places, they eat dogs and cats. We see it as wrong to them. Hey, I mean, come on, man. Y'all tearing them chickens up. So, I mean, I'm just saying. It depends on where you are and what's right. Oh, when you come over here, a female has to be, and this is crazy. Consent could be 16 years old. depending on where you are. Some places we always just say 18, but consent can be as young as 16 years old for sexual relations with an older person, but depends on where you are. You go to some of these other countries, they can marry young girls at 14 years old. That's acceptable. So you talk about morality is based on location and how those people are about those things. Because if you go to the Bible, God was a mass murderer. Oh, but he created life. Created to kill it? He didn't know any better? Created life just to kill it? Okay. Moving on. That's, you would call that morality. If by that standard, morality is, I should become a mass murderer so I can be just like God. Number 10. Since you don't believe God, who created the universe? Or the earth? Or man? Another one of these strong go-tos. They figure, ooh, checkmate. Ooh, so who made the universe? And why is it a who and not a what or a how? How was the universe created? How did these things come together? But because you don't look any further than the Bible, you won't understand how things happen because you don't want to go any further than the Bible. The Bible is not a teach-all book. You can't become a lawyer reading the Bible, or a doctor, or a truck driver, or what do they call them? Architect, or all. You don't become these things by reading the Bible. You just become religious by reading the Bible. The Bible is not the end of things. It's just a fable story book. How did the universe come to be? And then they deny evolution, because if they acknowledge evolution, then they have to deny the things in Genesis and that God did it the way he did it. Finished product. I made the elephant an elephant. Forget the woolly mammoth. I made the tiger a tiger. Forget the saber-toothed tiger. I made the great white a great white. Forget the megalodon. A lot of things are not the way. We have fossils of things that are not the way you think they were just created. They evolved. So this is another strong one for Christians. Who created the universe? You don't know, and you don't care to know, because you won't go any further than that Bible. So we shall continue, people. All right, moving on. Number 10. Number 10, I already did that. Number 11. Atheists believe that something came from nothing. Atheists believe that something came from nothing, meaning the Big Bang, which was actually coined by a Christian. The Big Bang. There was a bang and, everything came from nothing, which was, it was a bang and the universe expanded. Not that it came from nothing, but that it expanded. The irony of this is, you believe the same thing about a God. Or shall I say, they believe the same thing about a God. A God made something from nothing. That's what it says, and I believe it's in Hebrews. You know. And what is faith? The evidence of things unseen. All of these, it says in Hebrews, I gotta look it up, where it talks about everything coming from, the substance was nothing. So he used nothing to make something. And then when you ask about God, everything changes. It was like, well, where did he come from? Because they'll say, no, everything has to come from something. until you mention God, their God. Now all of a sudden, oh, God has always existed. How? What do you mean he's always existed? And he's a he. Of course he's a he. When the earliest gods, idols that they have are actually female. But of course, you know, the religion was taken over by men. And you have to, you know, lower the women, make them beneath a man when all of us come from a woman. But where did God come from? He's always existed. Now you change the whole game. So everything got to come from something except your God. And that's when I be thinking, so so before God decided, let me make heaven and my throne, he was just in darkness, floating through nothingness? Because what's ironic is he's supposed to be light, but the first thing he did in Genesis was said, let there be light, which would let me know it was darkness. And if there's darkness and you are light, why is there darkness? And then you created the darkness. So are you light that created darkness? Or was there darkness and you made light? The whole thing is confusing. That's the stupidity of the thing. And everything got to come from something. So we got to make it. And then he's so intelligent that in the first Genesis story in chapter 1, he makes male and female. But in the second story, you make the man from the dust of the earth. So you didn't use nothing, you used something, but you supposedly made earth and everything else from something, but you made man from the earth and then made the woman from the rib. So you used something to make something and just not nothing. Which we know now, if you'd have just took a rib out, you would have made another Adam. Mind you, that's if you try to make it real. If you leave X-Men and Marvel Universe in the movies with Thanos and Captain America and the Hulk, or if you leave them in the TV, if you leave them in the comic books, it's cool. When you try to make them real, that's when you got a problem, and that's the problem with religion. Once you try to pull the fictional into reality, then you have a problem. That's the problem. Where was I? Let me see. 12. Here we go. This is some of the stuff some of you might hear later, depending on how deep, how much you get into. Watch this. Atheists believe we come from monkeys. Somehow, if you become an atheist, and you might not know you're an atheist, you just don't believe in a God. You were born atheist. You were probably raised to become a theist because you were taken to church your whole life to believe in this imaginary character. But then once you don't believe in it anymore, now you become an atheist, which is your default position. Really, you were atheist from the jump. You were just filled with you was fooled by a whole bunch of crap. You become an atheist, and now all of a sudden you're evil for being what you were when you were born, not believing in any gods. Watch this. So they say, so automatically when you become an atheist, you get a PhD. To the Christians, you get a PhD in science and in astrology and what's the thing with I can't think of it, with the DNA and all of these things, and evolution, you automatically, in their eyes, get a PhD in these things. And now all of a sudden, you know all about evolution. You know all about science, because all you said was, I just don't believe this God stuff. So how was the universe created? I'm not an astrophysicist now because I don't believe in your God. I don't know about DNA because I said I don't believe in your God from the Bible. I don't know all of these things because I just said I don't believe this. So now all of a sudden, because I don't believe this, you have made me a scholar in things I don't know about. I just don't believe this. I'd have to learn those things. But it doesn't make me a scholar in it or some strong advocate for it. And they think atheists have a community where we're meeting together every Sunday to come against the theists. I just don't believe the crap you selling the same way Christians don't answer their door when Jehovah's Witnesses knock. You don't believe it. Scientology, Christians don't believe it. You don't believe it. Now, does that make you a specialist in something else because you don't believe what these people believe? But in their mind, now they've made you something else. You're a Christian. You're a Christian, they Jehovah's Witness, but the things you believe don't line with the things they believe, so they feel a certain way about you. That's the same way it feels when we don't believe about none of it. People get ready for this. Number 13. After this, I only got 14, that's it. Number 13. Almost about the same thing I just said. Atheists believe in science rather than God, which is stupid. Atheists believe in science rather than God. But yet, theists go see their doctor and get checkups. If he or she, if their doctor prescribes a medication, they take it. You have this for your blood pressure, you have this for cholesterol, whatever the issue might be, they give you something. That's all in medical science. Whether you have mental issues, anxiety, whatever it might be, ADHD, they give you something and they take the pills, things to make you focus, what have you. And then the Christians will sit around and there's certain, not all, remind you, not all, but there's certain ones that try so hard to prove their belief that step beyond that boundary to try to, y'all just, now you don't believe in God, you believe in science, but you believe in the same thing. Because if you got a migraine, you're going to take that Advil or the ibuprofen. You're going to take that. If if a female got cramps, she's going to take what she needs. Or come on, you watching me on the video right now. This is all science. This ain't religion. I got this video camera. You watch me on YouTube or on your laptop or on your phone or what have you. This is all science. What's the big deal? If you was going by religion, you'd be Amish. Do what the Amish do. And even the Amish are evolving. I can't tell you how much, but they have to. They're sitting around living off the land while all this stuff is going on anyway. Because the Amish can live however they want to live, but if a nuclear bomb hit, guess what? You're going to. You're going to. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. Shall I say, excuse me. Science. Oh, you don't know science. And everything in your house, you got a microwave, an air fryer, an oven, a George Foreman cooker, air conditioning, ceiling, everything. I'm just saying. You believe the same thing, but you are dogging people because they don't believe in your God. That's the bottom line. Like science is limited to atheists when you're not benefiting off of the same things. You're getting surgeries too. It's ridiculous. All right, number 14. The last one I have, right? Atheists secretly believe in God, but deny him so they can sin. And that's technically number one. And then I said before, you deny God because you want to sin, but they also say you secretly believe in God, but you're not. So I'm like, okay, God knows everything. I'm like, no, he can't read my mind. I'm gonna be like Magneto and put on, y'all don't know Marvel, the Marvel character Magneto, who can control metal, and he wears a helmet so that Professor Xavier can't read his mind, so he wears the helmet. So for those of you that don't know that world, okay, in Marvel, the comic books, X-Men, he wears the helmet for that. So God knows everything. So when I'm wearing the Magneto helmet, thinking God don't know, I really believe in him, but I don't, because I just want to have a good time. That's stupid. Like I said at the first part of the video, that's stupid. Because if God knows everything, then he knows everything, and he knows that despite the fact that I don't know, I like he doesn't exist, even though he won't prove to me he exists. He won't show himself, speak to me, make anything known that he does exist. So, look at the trees. Yeah, they're trees. How did the trees come to be? Well, squirrels go out and they collect nuts. And the nuts are seeds from trees. And a lot of squirrels, they might hide those nuts in the ground, to come back to them later, but they have hidden so many nuts in the ground, and they might have been killed or died, that they either forgot about it or was killed and never came back to it, and that nut became a tree or started to grow as a plant, and it was in an area where nobody stopped it, so it continued to grow from the nutrients in the ground and later became a tree. That's basically how that happened. Nothing deep. Nothing deep. That's how it happened. I'm just saying, you try to make it something that's not. Plant a seed, something grow. How does it grow? That's how it goes. There's no God involved, because if there wasn't, we wouldn't have people with deformities. I'm wearing glasses right now. Come on, man. Eagles got better eyes than me. So Jesus talk about how the animals are not better than me, but I gotta wear glasses. Really? And they always dirty. Like, you clean these glasses. Do eagles clean their eyes? Animals can see at night. Can we see at night? No. Unless we got night vision goggles we had to create. You are, beautifully and wonderfully made or marvelously made. No, we not. And the way I see things is like, we are like a step, I don't know how many steps above chickens. It's like if you took 1,000 chickens and put them out in the wild and see how long would it be, not that these chickens produce, but how long would these chickens survive? Because what defenses do chickens have? They got wings, but they can't fly. They can run. Foxes and other animals eat the chickens. That's why they're in coops, to keep them safe, because they have no defense mechanisms. What do humans have other than the fact that we create tools? Put a human up against any person without a tool. Put us up against small monkeys with no tools. They're stronger. They're smaller, but they're stronger. Think about it. We win because we make tools. But if we didn't make tools, we don't survive. Other animals can survive. Now I'm on a tangent just talking, y'all. I'm just talking anyway. Other animals, watch this. I feel like we're the only animals, we're born and have to put on clothing. Other animals have fur, or they're cold-blooded, warm-blooded. They have something to protect them from the elements. They burrow in the ground, they hibernate, they do something. But we are the only ones that seems like they have to come in here, and if it's too hot, we can wear light clothing. If it's too cold, we wear heavy clothing. But it's nothing that's natural. We have to kill an animal to get their skin to be warm. But yet you want to think that the purpose is this is here for us? How? We don't fit here. Who's tearing up the planet? Ooh, the great white sharks. They tearing up the planet. How? Eating seals. Okay. The orcas. Okay. Who's tearing up the planet? The animals or the people? But what's the purpose of God? Oh, this is all for us. No, we made our gods. The animals didn't make our gods. We made our gods, and we made our gods just like us. That's why Zeus was always cheating on his wife and creating new children, demigods and other gods. Either he wasn't cheating with a goddess, he was cheating with a mortal, disguising himself any type of way to do what he did, because he was created by a man and he did what men do. We are not special here. What's our, that was the whole thing, what's our meaning in life? The whole thing of religion is to make us have a meaning in life as if this earth was made for man, and it's not. We're just a part of this earth, and we could go extinct like everything else does easily, and our extinction could actually be caused by ourselves. You don't have to worry about the animals building an atom bomb, nuclear bomb, and destroying themselves, or polluting the waters and polluting the air. They won't do that. If it happens, it comes from us. I don't know how we're so special. We're not. The animals do what they do. Their cycle goes on. We're not special, whereas we need a God, or it matters. Because we have poor and we have rich. We have poor who can't eat. And the rich don't care if they don't eat, because they eat. We're not special. We're just here. We live and we die, and things keep going. Anyway, people, I don't want to go into something else because the purpose of the video was to read these things off. But for those of you that watched it, if you got some things that you've seen theists and Christians, or theists or Christians, say as well, leave them in the comments and I'll check the comments. And if you got other things different from what I've said, we'll make a part 2. So do that and we're good. So I'm out of here right now. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all take care. Peace.